Hello everyone, and long time no see, and welcome to our weather update on February 11th, 2023. So it's been quite a while since the last uploaded, and it's just because I've been um studying for and doing my mock exams, so it's been quite time consuming. So I've been just putting my focus on that just for the time being, for the past 3 or 4 weeks. But now they're out of the way, and I'm confident that I did quite well in them. So that means I can push forward now with I'd say nearly daily uploads, put it that way, until the end of April. Where after that I'm gonna have to start putting more time into studying again for the actual state exams at the start of June. So and I am delighted to be back. It's been quite a while, and the good thing is that I don't think I've missed so much while I've gone. So that's a good thing. I've been blessed by the gods. They haven't been giving loads of like wind and rain and things like that, or any snow or cold. We've been quite benign with just high pressure over us or to our south, like just like today's weather, just benign cloudy weather, high pressure just over us and to our south, miles. Though it doesn't really feel like that in the clouds. But anyway, glad to be back, and I'll be going through the weather for the next about 10 days or 2 weeks in this video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So again, through all the models, and at the very end of the video, I'll show you a very cold run ensemble member from the GFS midnight run. Truly shocking. Just for a bit of eye candy, just for a bit of a bit of celebration for my comeback, I suppose. Anyway, I'll get on with it now. So GFS runs start off with going to 384 hours. High pressure over us, and that will continue into tomorrow as well. So the wind will start to come up from the south more tomorrow as the high pressure slips towards the east. And that may just break the clouds up a bit more into the afternoon. So it may allow some quite mild sunshine to come out, which may feel a bit spring-like even. Into Monday, we see a bit more sunshine as well. There will be a strengthening southerly breeze as well. Upper temperatures are very mild under this area of high pressure, so it's a mild high, very spring-like. As we push into the middle of the week, we just see the low pressure coming in more from the north, and the high pressure just gradually waning away to the south. So I think we'll go a bit more unsettled around midweek. Before, as we go into the end of next week, into next weekend, the high pressure starts to come back, the Azores high coming back north again to try and get us a bit drier again, staying miles. Probably quite cloudy as well, but then on Sunday we see a bit of a cooler wind from the north. I don't know what's wrong with there, but I think this shot hasn't loaded properly. Anyway, cooler winds from the north into Sunday, and into next week, high pressure comes back off the Atlantic, quite mild and dry. It could be a bit cooler on Monday morning with the winds in from the northwest around the high, but still around the high is mild. But then this 12-day run does something interesting as we go into into the end of next week. The high pressure sort of retrogresses towards Iceland and Greenland, though it will have quite a job getting to Greenland, judging by the deep polar vortex colours over Greenland. But it gets up towards Iceland, and look at this. We pull in the wind from the northeast, from Scandinavia. Upper air temperatures. Where are we? There. Upper air temperatures are cooling down. We see the -5 Celsius ice term at 850 HPA pushing in from the east, and that should be cool, cold, and dry. It may be a few wintry showers on the east coast. Depends on the exact, convection levels and things like that. And then as we go on, the -5 Celsius ice term comes through the country, and look at what it comes up against. There's an area of low pressure here. We put it on the pressure pattern and go. There we go. Low pressure trying to battle against the cold air from the east. Struggles to do so, and wherever the boundary is, put the upper air temperature the upper air temperatures on again. if I zoom in, we get the 0 Celsius ice here in the west, but the -5 Celsius ice in the east. And where we sort of get the boundary between the mild and cold air, on the cold side of the boundary, there'll be snow. But this is just one GFS run, and it's 2 weeks away, so don't take it seriously. It's just something that may happen. It could change next time we run it. And towards the end of the run, we keep it cold, winds in from the east, and the -10 Celsius ice getting into the southeast of England. And actually, this is all possibly in relation to the SSW that's going to take place next week. So tomorrow, I think I'll have a video about that as well as the normal updates. The GEM run is showing quite a very similar charts for the early part of next week. High pressure going eastwards, allowing a mild wind from the south. Again, upper temperatures are mild, between 0 and 5 Celsius. Then into midweek, the low pressure tries to break the ridge down, but it struggles to do so. It does turn us wet for about Wednesday and Thursday, but then high pressure sort of tries to come back, although possibly not having as much influence as the GFS allows it to have, as low pressure sort of keeps it quite wet and windy, sort of. But the high pressure does try and come up, but it fails. And then we go into next weekend, and we get low pressure over Scotland. That will give us a bit of a cooler northerly snap, although it's not desperate cold, just 0 Celsius Iceland coming through the country. And then into as far as we can go up to Tuesday, February 21st, we get polar vortex around Greenland and Canada as usual, with a bit of the cold flow out of Greenland here in the Atlantic, but also high pressure is trying to set up over southern Scandinavia and try and pull in a slight easterly flow. Now, if this came off, the easterly wouldn't be so cold, as we don't have much cold air over Europe. But if that's sustained for long enough, the high pressure got further northwards, we'd pull in the cold air over Finland, Eastern Europe, and northwest Russia, and over the Baltic Sea states. So that's something to watch just as we're getting the SSW going. And the UK Met run, again, very similar for the first part of the run anyway. High pressure pushing eastwards. Winds may just break the cloud up a bit to make it a bit sunnier, which will be welcome. Okay, it's been quite overcast. And then high pressure sort of tries to come back. It's a bit weird there. Why is it changing? I think the chart's just not uploaded properly. It's been a bit weird recently with this site. But anyway, high pressure tries to come back northwards on this run, but it doesn't. It fails, and the low pressure just keeps going right up until the very end of the run, and that little low there looks a bit. It's very small, but it could pack a punch as well. The Icon run, again, high pressure pushing eastwards during the first part of the week, allowing a southerly up, very mild. And then as we push through, we see low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. And we go very wet. That may be a named storm. That may be our first named storm of the season, if that comes off on Friday for Scotland. And it would give northern parts of the country quite a battering, at least. And we push through, quite wet, windy, and a bit cooler as well, I'd say. If you put the very end of the run. Yeah, a bit cooler. -12 Celsius Iceland, not far away from the country. Our pairs run, much the same really for the first part of the run anyway. High pressure pushing eastwards. I couldn't speak there for a second. And we pull up the wind from the south again, very mild as we've established over the video. 5 Celsius isotherm, 5 Celsius isotherm through the country. Then we push on into midweek, and the low pressure comes in off the Atlantic. Here we go wetter and windier. ECMWF run, excuse me, hover. And we go into early part of next week with a mild wind from the south. And as we push through, the high pressure is more influential in this run. It manages to push up, giving next weekend, well, the end of it anyway, quite a decent characteristic, quite a decent flavour to it. could be a bit. If it's sunny, it can be quite spring-like under this high pressure. It depends on how much sun we get. Okay, now this is a very, very extreme GFS ensemble member, and I must stress that it shouldn't be taken seriously at all. It's one ensemble member. It could change at any time. You often get these brief little cold, severely cold ensemble members, but this is the coldest one I've seen in my life. Coldest GFS ensemble. So I'll show you this ensemble. So we're starting on February 21st, because this is when things started to show signs of being bitterly cold. Right, so we start with high pressure over Ireland, England, France into the Atlantic. Low pressure over Scandinavia, Svalbard, and we don't look really out of the ordinary there. A little bit of low pressure in the Atlantic, but as we push through, we see a little teaser to what's going to happen here with this northerly through Iceland. Gives them a really bitter plunge, and then that pushes off into the North Sea. -7 Iceland gets very far down. That's a little teaser for what's to come. I'm going to push through, and watch what happens here. The high pressure goes towards Greenland. It noses into Greenland, and we get a bitter northerly winds coming out of Svalbard and east of Greenland. And sorry, I seem to have wound back somehow. Anyway, that's where I'm meant to be. Thursday, February 23rd, cold front comes through, and we've basically opened the floodgates to absolutely freezing air. Now, the upper air temperatures will scare you. Well, not really scare you, but amaze you. And that low pressure is going to bring, no doubt, copious amounts of snow. That is part of the polar vortex coming out of the Arctic, sitting over us. And now, I must stress again, I'm not forecasting this. I just simply is an outlier. I'm going to show you a graph, and it clearly shows this is an outlier. But I thought I'd just show you for fun, as it's my first day back after the mocks. So, I'm finished like that. Right, I'm going to do it all again with the upper air temperatures. So we saw that first plunge into the North Sea, but look at this. -15 ice therm getting into Scotland on February 23rd. And that just comes through the country. We even get the -20 ice therm into parts of Scotland as well. But we get the -15 through, and we get quite close actually to -20. Look at this blue line of air coming out of the Arctic. And you can see how well that is actually shows in over Greenland, because it's got the 0 Celsius ice therm over Greenland. Basically, that's replacing the cold air that's meant to be there at the time, because the cold air is over us basically, and no doubt with snow and absolutely frozen ground. And that cold air even makes it into France as the -15 Celsius ice therm. So this is truly big. This is severe. I've never seen an ensemble do that in my life, I don't think. Maybe it's just because I was looking for something similar today, but I just thought I'd show you this for fun. I must stress, for fun. It's for eye candy. It's not a forecast. I'm not forecasting this. I'm just showing it for fun. And then we finish like that, and you can see that the cold plunge has taken a toll on the Arctic. Because before the plunge was like this, look at the cold air. After it, it's like this. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's all here, yes, but there was cold air here. It's because it went over us, essentially. Right, and before I go, I'll show you the graph. This is the ensemble member here, the brownish red, crimson sort of line, brown line, going down here to like -18 degrees at 850 HPA. So you can see that it's clearly an outlier, not like it's the only one going down to that level. But it's just eye candy, as I said. I just want to do it for fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll be back tomorrow with a look at the stratosphere, as well as one of these usual updates. It looks like the weather is beginning to turn more unsettled, just as like I'm coming back. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and bye for now.